Alright, we're doing some more problems of geometric series that deal with the two sum formulas today. That's what we're mainly looking at, and we're also going to write a geometric series in summation notation. Okay, all of it you should find pretty straightforward and not too difficult. There are 7 examples we're looking at. So on the first one, they give me a sum of 12 terms equals 1365. My common ratio is 2, and they want me to find the ace of 1. So first thing I have to do is decide which formula I want. Which one do we want? The one with ace of n or the one without?
With.
The one without.
Without.
Why do we want the one without?
Because we don't have.
We don't have ace of n. So all I have to do is plug into that formula. So it's going to be 1365 equals ace of 1, which is what I'm looking for. 1 minus r to the nth power. What's n in this case? 12 over 1 minus r.
Wait, is this a repeat or do we write those formulas down?
We
Already did,
looked at
didn't
those
we?
formulas on Friday, yes.
Okay.
Can we just divide
Yes, you can do that. Okay. But obviously 1 minus 2 is negative 1, so this makes this negative 1365 divided by the 1 minus 2 to the 12. And that's going to give me ace of 1. So all I have to do is plug that in.
Wait a minute. Okay, I don't get that.
Alright. 1 minus 2, negative 1.
Okay.
So I'm multiplying the negative 1 over, which makes it a negative 1365.
Okay.
So
and
then
we
the only thing I have to get rid of is that, and I divide to get rid of it. So that's why it's there.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Alright, so negative 1365 over 1 minus 2 to the 12. Press enter. That tells me that ace of 1 is 1/3. What would ace of 2 be? 2/3. 2/3.
Okay, so 1 equals 1.
Alright, next one. Alright, so this one gives me ace of 1, gives me my sum, it gives me ace of n, and it wants me to find r. So which formula do I want? The one with or without ace of n? One with, because they gave me ace of n. So all I have to do is plug in. So 590.52 equals ace of 1, which is 0.12 minus r, which is what I'm looking for, times ace of n over 1 minus r. So there it is plugged in. This one's probably I wouldn't say difficult because I don't think it's difficult. It has the most steps of any of the problems we do today. So if you can handle this one, you're in good shape for today. Alright, what do we want to do next?
Multiply the 1 minus y to the other side and
Mul-
then distribute to the 590.
Very good. So multiply the 1 minus r over here and distribute it. So 590.52 minus 590.52r equals 0.12 minus 787.32 r. Just multiply the 1 minus r over and distribute it. I forgot that too. Alright, so what do we do next?
Put your R in here.
R's together and the numbers together. So minus 0.12 there and plus 590.52 R there. So over here I have 590.4 over there negative 787.32 plus 590.52. Gives me negative 196.803. And then the only thing left is to divide. I did something wrong. What did I do?
803?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I put 323. So what should it be?
I don't
Nobody did it?
I got you.
maybe.
It's something
That's it right there.
80 680. Yeah.
That's it right there. So now we divide. So 590.4 divided by negative 196.8. So R is negative 3. What would A sub 2 be? Negative what?
Negative 0.36.
Negative 0.36. All I have to do is take R times A sub 1. So negative 3 times 0.12 is the negative 0.36.
Oh.
Next one. And what do we want to find here? I think it's A sub n, maybe. Let me double check. Yes. All right, so this one gives me the series. It gives me the sum of the series with a certain amount of terms, and it wants me to find the last term in the series.
Oh wait, I got that.
So what are we going to do, Krista? With or without A sub n?
Huh?
Do I want the formula without or with A sub n?
Without. With.
With, because A sub n's in my problem. So I'm going to plug in 23.784 equals A sub 1, which is 15 minus R. What's R? How do I find R?
18 divided by 15.
Negative 18 divided by 15. It's either 1.2 or 1.7.
18 divided by 15. 1.2.
So negative 1.2. And then we have A sub n, which is what we're looking for, over 1 minus R. So we're solving for A sub n here. What is 1 minus 1.2 on the bottom?
2.2.
2.2, and what do I want to do with that 2.2? Multiply it. So 23.784 times 2.2. So 15 plus 1.2 A sub n. And then what two steps are left?
Minus 15.
Subtract 15 and
Divide by 1.2.
divide by 1.2.
Oh yeah.
So A sub n equals 31.104. Do I know which term A sub n is? It is the last one, but I know a number. Is it the 10th term, the 11th term, the 5th term? Do I know what it is?
I don't know.
No, I don't. But can I tell if it's an even or odd term?
Yes.
Well, the way you're saying it.
Which one's it going to be?
It's going to be an odd term.
It's going to be an odd term because if you notice, the first and the third are both positive, and the second term is even. So since I ended up with a term that's positive, that means it's got to be an odd term. So however many terms there are in this, there's got to be an odd number of them. Next one. On this one, it gives me the sum. It gives me A sub n. It gives me my ratio, and it wants me to find A sub 1. Alright, some formula with or without a sub n.
With.
With, because it has a sub n in it. So 468 a sub 1 minus r times a sub n over 1 minus r. So 1 minus 5 on the bottom is
4.
-4. What do I do with that -4? Multiply by 468. So that gives me -1872. And multiply there, I believe it's 1875. So the only thing left is to add.
Oh my gosh, it's complicated.
So that means the first term in the sequence is 3. What's the second term?
8.
15.
Oops.
3 times 5 gives me 15.
Um,
Next one. 3 to go. So a sub 5 equals 6, a sub 8 equals -0.048. I want to find r.
You can set up some means, right?
Say again?
Set up geometric means.
It's similar to the geometric means, that's correct. So what do we want to do?
ew, I don't like it.
Is that positive? Is it negative?
Second number is negative.
Okay, I can tell about negative.
Oh, because you
So what are we going to do?
So,
change it to a of
do you-
1 and subtract the same number from a of 8, then
So we want to redesignate this as a sub 1. If I designate that as a sub 1, this one has to be designated as,
A sub n.
3.
it is a sub n, but more specifically, not 3.
2.
A sub 4.
4.
Yes.
How far apart are 5 and 8?
3.
3. So I've got to add 3. That gets me to 4. Alright? Now that we've done that, which formula do we want to use to figure out r?
That one. The top one.
This one, the explicit formula. Very good. So all I have to do is plug in. So -0.048 equals 6 r to the n minus 1. What is n?
4.
4. So 4 minus 1 gives me 3. All I have to do is solve for r. So what's next?
You multiply by, or divide by 6.
Divide by 6, which gives me that. And then what?
You cube root it.
Cube root it, which gives me that. So my r is -0.2. What can I do to make sure -0.2 is r?
You plug it in.
Multiply
Multiply
the A1.
6
by -0.2.
by -0.2, take that answer.
Multiply by 0.6.
By -0.2,
By
take that answer.
Do it again.
By -0.2, and we should end up with
Negative
-0.048. So that's how you can verify that it's correct. 2 more.
Can I always change them like to a sub 1?
Yeah, if they give you 2 like that, and neither one of them are a sub 1, make the lowest one a sub 1 and then change the other one. Alright, this one is dealing with an infinite geometric series. So it's going to, how many variables are in the formula for an infinite sum? There's 3. What are the 3? A sub 1, r, and s. So they're going to give you 2 of those 3. Your job is going to be to find the third. Okay, pretty simple. So s equals a sub 1 over 1 minus r is the formula for an infinite geometric series. Again, what does r have to be? It has to be between -1 and 1. If it's not, you can't do it. In this case, we're good to go because 1/2 is between -1 and 1.
What if it's not?
Then you say not possible and move on.
I like that answer.
Me too.
So I plug in, and then all I got to do is solve for a sub 1. What is 1 minus 1?
Multiply by 1, or minus, wait, just plus
1 minus
Sorry,
1/2
I
is
Subtract the multiply.
Negative
by.
0.5.
positive.
Positive 0.5.
And 12 times 0.5 or 12 times 1/2 is
6.
6.
Look at us
So
go.
Yeah, I
ace
did.
of 1. Ace of 1 is 6.
Is that what we wanted to find?
That's what we wanted to find.
Wow.
They're going to give you 2 of the 3. You got to find the third.
Yeah.
All right, last one. We're going to write a geometric series in summation notation. It's easy.
R, gave you S and R. Yeah.
So you're wanting to know the first term on.
All right, so my series is 50 plus 85 plus 144.5 plus 417.605. Of course,
I have a question about the last one.
Yep.
What are the 3 things that you always have to find is S, R, and ace of 1? That's
so
it?
they'll give you 2 of those. You got to
Can I
find
find
the
the other one? Okay.
All right, so here's my geometric series. I want to write this in summation notation. Notice they did not tell me what my bottom needed to be, so we're going to make it 1. If they don't tell you, we always want that to be 1. Then what formula goes inside my summation notation? The explicit formula. So that is ace of 1. In our case, it's 50 times R. What is R in this problem? What do I do to get it? 85 divided by 50, if I remember correctly, is 1.7. Remember that this number here and this number here, those 2 must always be the same. So the only thing left is
The top. No.
the top. What do we do to find the top?
Plug in 1. Plug in 1.
Set my formula equal to the last term.
Oh no.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no.
So set my formula equal to the last term. All right, so what's our first step?
Times 50 by 1.7.
No.
Oh, what?
Can't do that, because that 1.7 has an exponent.
To divide by 50.
Divide by 50.
Couldn't you multiply first though?
What do you mean multiply? What do you want to multiply?
50 and 1.7.
Cannot do that.
Because 1.7 has an exponent. Just remember.
Log 1.7.
Alright, so my next step is to take the natural log. What's the dead giveaway that I have to use the natural log?
The variables in the exponent.
When my variable's in the exponent, I have to use the natural log to get rid of it. We're going to do two things at once here. What are we going to do with that exponent? Move it to the front. Okay, so I'm doing the natural log both sides, and I'm moving the exponent to the front at the same time. Alright, then what?
Divide log, natural log.
So control divide, natural log 8.352 divided by natural log of 1.7. Oh, I did something wrong.
You left out.
You forgot the 1, but I don't think it matters, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter,
Oh.
because it's got to be a clean number.
Wait, so you just divided the 8 point
I divided this
by that?
by that. That gives me 4, so that means my top number is 5. Again, what does that number have to be? Positive and whole. So that's why I knew I did something wrong, because right here when I punched it in initially, it gave me a decimal, and I knew something was wrong, because when I do the natural log divided by the natural log, I've got to get a positive whole number at that point. So I knew something was wrong. Now, remember, sometimes my R might be negative. And that R ends up inside my natural log. What do I do when I have a R that is negative inside my natural log? You ignore the negative, make it positive, and just divide by it. Because that negative, what's the only thing the negative does on an R? What does it do to my series if R is negative?
It also
No, it makes it alternate.
It just alternates my sign. That's the only thing a negative R does, is alternate my sign between the numbers. So that's why it's not important when I'm figuring out what I is. Yes.
Will there be a situation where there's only one of them being negative? One of those numbers in the natural log?
Right, I mean, because right here, if R was negative, then this would still be positive.
Okay.
But if either one of them are negative, make it positive. Anytime you're looking for the number of terms and you end up with a negative inside the natural log, make it positive every time. Okay? All right. All right, 66 to 82 even, 86, 98, and 100.